is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
DJs and MCs. This DJ, he gets down.
Listen to this jockey's introduction to
Two DJs and a mic with your host, DJ Mike.
Is that a timetable?
And DJ JP.
Well, get on it. It's your time.
Give me the mic.
Okay, man, that was long.
Yeah.
Words of Jeff.
It's the grand introduction, baby. It's the grand introduction.
Yeah. Thank you guys again for joining us on Two DJs and One Mic. We're honored today to have, man, I don't even know how to explain this, but we're honored to have, is it DJ Tyler? Is
That's
that what
me.
it is? DJ Tyler, one of the owners of Harvest of the Sound.
Yes, sir.
Harvest of Sound.
From Boston,
Yes.
Harvest of Sound, Boston. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Cold Boston. Cold Boston.
It's not cold yet, Mike.
It's not cold yet.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, so how are you doing today? And we thank you again for joining us, Tyler. How
Yeah,
are you
man.
doing?
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Yes.
Yes.
We're looking forward to coming to Boston in a few months. Praying.
We got a nice room set up for you, Jeff. Nice room, nice and cozy. The heat will be on for you too.
Plenty of heat. Pump it, baby.
Got you covered.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna jump right into it, man. And we just got a few questions, and then we're gonna chit chat, talk a little bit about the show coming up, and just other things, and find out a little bit about Tyler as we go to. This is second time coming on. He came on my podcast with me, so I already know a little. Yeah, he did.
Good.
I know a little bit about him. That's how we got invited to the show, Mike.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Me and Jeffrey have chatted before on here. So.
Yes. I had him on my show. So, first question right out the bat: what inspired you to become a DJ, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, so that's actually really easy. So when I was in middle school, there was kind of there was an opening for students to play music during what we called the mile race, which was every year with Jim we had a race where we ran a mile around the field and stuff like that. So me and a friend of mine, his name was Rob, we kind of put together the equipment that we had at the time, which wasn't much. It was we were 11 and 12 years old, so we had some bookshelf speakers and some portable Discman CD players, and we scrambled to get scrapped together and got a mixer and a receiver, and we started off doing it that way. But yeah, I mean, my uncle had been a DJ my entire life. I mean, I've always known of him as the uncle that's a DJ. So when the time came and I was old enough to actually go out and like work, I'd go out with him, so we do weddings and stuff like that together. So I just kind of started really, really young. Like I said, I was like 11 years old. I started working with him when I was, around 13. Did my first solo wedding pretty much the same week I got my license. So when I was 16, I did my first solo wedding, and I've just been doing it ever since.
Wow. So I have some questions to that. So
what did I tell you, Tyler?
Let's go.
When you say box speakers, what can you please define?
Man. So we're talking like 1994, 1995 territory. So we're talking, like Radio Shack style, like bookshelf speakers with the big 12-inch woofer and then a 10-inch woofer on top of it, and then it goes down to an 8-inch woofer, and then you have the horn on top. Those big like home style audio speakers.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the little bookshelf, Mike. The little, like this when he said about the size of this cup.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Okay, not bookshelf by today's standards.
But we understand what you're talking about.
So, do you remember the mixer that y'all found?
I do. It was one of the old Gemini 2-channel, one of the PDM. What was it, like a PDM 11 or something like that? Wow. The old gray and black style ones, the battle style mixers. We got that at New England Speaker in Stoneham. We rode our bikes there and bought it. It was like $65.
Wow. Yeah, you won't get one for that now.
Oh, not a chance.
So were you guys doing vinyl?
No, so that was when CDs were first starting to come up. Obviously there was a vinyl stage, and then everything went tape, and then CDs. So we were in the age when, CDs were just becoming popular, early 90s, mid 90s, stuff like that. For the first 10 years of, when I was DJing, it was all CDs. So, but yes, there was times where we did vinyl and stuff.
Mike, take a look at our heads and take a look at Tyler's heads.
He's
a wee bit younger.
Yeah, I see. So, the interesting thing is, it's like when people, I'm talking to a client, we're doing a consultation. They like, hey, I want old school. And I have to always ask this question: could you please define what old school?
How old do you want to go?
Because you really don't know what a person's age is. So old school to them could be 2000.
Yep.
And
that's what we're into. Because let's discuss what oldies is. Oldies has always been music that's 20 years or older. So the entire time that I was growing up, I was growing up on the stuff that was 20 and 30 years old at the time, the Beach Boys, Elvis, stuff like that, but now, oldies could be considered something, like Fall Out Boy, stuff like that could be considered oldies. So it's really, what is your determining factor to decide what is oldies?
Oh yeah.
Because, that's funny, because you think like Manny Fresh and Birdman is considered an oldie now. Gator boots, it's crazy how long music is continuing to go.
Well, you just realize that everything has a expiration to some extent. Yeah. As far as the popularity of it, it goes from new to old.
And sometimes it happens pretty quick. One hit wonders are a thing, so it's like you get that one song and it just stays popular forever and ever and ever. The Killers, let's be real. You ask anybody right now, name a Killer song. They're going to give you one of two answers, and more than likely it's going to be Mr. Brightside.
There you go, Mr. Brightside. Yep. Yes.
So for the people that was not able to put, 1 and 2 together, how long have you been DJing?
Was that 26, 27 years, roughly? Actively DJing?
Wait a minute, Tyler, I thought you was so 16 plus 27 is about.
Well, I started when I was 11, technically. So if we're talking actual DJing, I would say more like 22-ish years.
Yeah. So you have to take into consideration, Jeff, he was seeing some things that he shouldn't see.
I was 11 years old. We were doing school dances. We were doing stuff like that at 11 and 12. So
yes, the tender age of 11 and 12.
Right.
So,
that's right.
So let me ask you. I know you got into it, but was it is it because you love music, or you thought it was a way to make money, or as some DJs who've been on the show, it's a way to get chicks?
Yeah, I mean, it was really none of that actually. Like I said, it was more.
Wow.
I was into music growing up, obviously, but I wasn't necessarily into the music that you would consider to be like dance music that you would play at like parties and stuff like that. I was always into like rock, like Metallica or Nirvana and stuff like that. But
Okay.
it slowly started to grow on me. It was more. I will honestly say it was more of a calling than anything. Like I said, growing up, having family members that were DJing and, seeing the equipment, set up at their house, it's just one of those things where it just kind of reaches to you and you're like, okay, this is cool. This is something I want to explore, and then once you actually start doing it, you realize that, it's a way to make people that may not necessarily be happy in that point in time happier. It's just one of those things that kind of just triggers your appetite for, something that you enjoy doing.
Wow. Hey, there's an emotion connection, Mike.
Oh
Bringing
yeah.
in the
Oh
emotion.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say, out of all the people that we've asked that question, this is the first time that we've got an answer. Like,
That's totally unique. Yeah, totally
Yes,
unique,
this is
different.
the unique answer. Yes, it was a calling. So Tyler was outside walking, and the rock started talking.
It was actually more. I think the first time I ever saw a DJ was at like one of my grandfather's birthday parties or something like that. When my uncle or one of his guys were DJing, and we were all there as a family, and people were dancing, having fun, smiling, and having a good time. And then the next birthday party, I was that DJ. So it's like it's just one of those things. It's just always been something that's interested me. And it's just something that I've always researched and always something I've wanted to do. So it's just been this thing ever since. I've had jobs here and there in between. DJing wasn't always a full-time thing for me, so I've had jobs and stuff in between, but it's like there's always been DJing in there, so it's never been a point in my life where I wasn't DJing.
Wow, man.
I like that.
Okay. That's definitely different. I mean, like you say, most of us, it's a love of music, or we just saw it for the money. And as KC said, it was definitely for the chicks.
Oh, KC. That definitely sounds like a KC answer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about the chicks.
Yeah, he was trying to get some girl to like him.
Yeah.
So I'll take this one. So Tyler, what is something that you love about the DJ industry, man?
That's an easy one. The community, it's one of those things. Actually, it's a two-sided coin, I would say. There's obviously really, really good side to the DJ community, and then there's obviously a really, really dark and bad side to the DJ community. It's kind of finding that balance in between the two of them and kind of coasting that line. You're meeting new friends, you're learning new things, you're picking up new techniques, new way to do things, because not every DJ has the right answer, so it's finding those answers that every DJ has, finding the one that works for you, and the only way you're going to find that is through networking.
Wow.
I like that.
This kid didn't say a mouthful, Mike. I mean, that was deep right there. So you said there's a good side and there's a bad side.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll come back to the bad side, but I have a follow-up to that question. So you said you only get that through networking. Can you touch more on that?
Yeah,
what do you mean when you say that?
Well, I mean, as kind of some old guys in the industry, the three of us can kind of work this out together. 20, 25 years ago, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't the things that we have now. There was no Facebook, no social network, none of that stuff. So everything that you did, you either did yourself and taught yourself and decided on your own, or somebody close to you or local to you, said, here, try this, which is great. But now what you end up having is you have collectively a group of possibly several hundred DJs doing the same thing. Here 25 years ago, everybody was doing the Michael Jackson skit where they were putting leather jackets and, white hats on people and having them go out and do, Billie Jean. Everybody had the blow up guitars. They were doing the Village People stuff. All that weird cliche stuff that people saw at every wedding was the stuff that was happening. And the only way to get outside of that is to go and network and meet new people that do things different than you, maybe in a different market or a different area of the country. So once more of these shows started popping up, DJX, back when Mobile Beat was Mobile Beat, and now we have Midwest and, all the other smaller shows. Now you're meeting people from different portions of the country that do things possibly a lot different than you do. So it gives you a chance to kind of change the flavor of what you're doing versus just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So really the only way to change what you're doing is getting outside of your small local network and networking with people that are in a much larger area or a much different area of the country than yourself.
Stop.
I will.
Who is this? Tyler, have you spoke at a conference, man? Do you preach that in your neighborhood? I mean, like at your local networking groups and things?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked at local DJ, meetups and stuff like that, and different, local shows, but no, never any big shows or anything like that.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you
God.
dropping some
That
gems.
was deep. Mike, that's the one. Cut that. That's going to be the commercial for this show. Man, that was deep because, you put it all in a box. So we all in Dallas. So there's 200 of us all doing the same thing because we're not getting outside of our box. So I'm going to do what this guy does. Well, that's what he does. He plays, man. But I mean, I know we all got creative things. We give each other the same playlist and we all going to do it differently. But if we all playing off the same playlist, we still doing the same thing. Just
You're still going to hear those same 50 songs at every event.
Wow. Okay, Mike, I'm going to give it back to you. That was good, Tyler. Woo,
Yeah, I like that. So let's go back to some of those things in the industry that drives you crazy. Some, that bad side. What is something that just really, as they say, blow your hair back?
This one's easy. Trolls and bad advice.
Please explain.
You have your trolls that are their
goal
is to do absolutely nothing more than poke fun of or make people's lives miserable or just genuinely turn a good conversation south. They're in every Facebook group there is, or in every networking group there is. They just exist. And bad advice is people that will give you that advice that possibly works for them in their area of the country, but may not necessarily work for everybody else. I mean, a perfect example of this is the common, 2.4 gigahertz versus UHF microphones. Yes, 2.4 will work at certain points in the country, but you take that same microphone and come to Boston and it's not going to work for you. So it's just the blanket statements of, bad advice or good advice in your area, but bad advice everywhere else by telling them that they've worked flawlessly without giving any background information to that. That stuff drives me nuts.
Man, Tyler is just, you dropping knowledge. And what was the second part? I mean, was there a second part to that?
Well, we hit the trolls in the first one, which is those people who enjoy doing nothing more than just creating havoc inside of Facebook groups and stuff like that. And then the other one was obviously the bad advice.
Yeah, and the trolls. So
I'm not dropping any names, so don't ask.
No, I'm not asking. They named themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody knows who they are because they're in the same Facebook groups as we are, and they see it constantly. Some of them are funny and some of them do it in a unique way that, okay, you can let it slide, but some of them are just genuinely out to create chaos.
Yeah, and like yourself, I can't stand those type of people because to me, in all actuality, they're cowards. They have no good intentions, and a lot of times they're the worst of all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not bringing anything to the table. Absolutely nothing.
They're takers. They take and they just create chaos, and they just sit by the wayside. And if they could hide totally, they'll hide.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, really comes to it. A lot of those guys are just social media bullies. If you see them in real life, they'll run.
They don't. Yeah, they don't. They tuck their tails and they take off. I mean, some of you even use fake names. It's.
Oh yeah.
It's in every industry, unfortunately. I mean, being somebody that's done other things besides being just a DJ, my entire life, basically, you see it in every industry. But like you just said, they in real life, to an extent, they're not going to do the same thing that they do on the internet.
No. So let me ask you this, because I've experienced this. I've experienced a troll creating a fake situation that cost me business.
Yeah, it happens. It does happen. And they don't see the personal effect that it can cause on people.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying I've had someone call me as if they or a place that I was dealing with.
Gotcha.
And created a whole scenario, and I called the place back and it just got, and at the end of the day, I realized that this was not even a real situation. The only thing was real that I called this place and screwed up my contract.
Yeah, we've had that happen here too.
Yes, because it's like they're saying, man, I don't want to be a part of nothing like this. We love, what they do, but this is, it was crazy.
Yeah, we had one instance last year, local to me, just in the local, DJ group that we're in, where somebody was pretending to be like a talent agent for some big film company, and they were looking for, a DJ to perform for one of their movies. So they were, holding auditions for this, so they had a whole bunch of people end up calling them, a bunch of DJs, a bunch of local DJs ended up calling them. And, some of them were actually picked for, the part. And they would go and they'd show up to this place and they'd find out that it was like a Walgreens.
Wow.
And that's something that happened last year. And it really, really threw a lot of people for a loop because a lot of people thought it was genuine.
The one that was going around for a while is they were saying that they were trying to look for people to do, I want to say like a modeling, doing something for a modeling company.
It was a fashion show. Yeah.
And it was going around big time in a lot of places, man. Yep. And that was
same thing.
Yeah,
they got Chris 2C like that. Now, when he was going through all of it with me, I said, you know what, dude, this is a scam. This is not. It's not.
Yeah, but see, this wasn't a scam. This was actually somebody local. They ended up figuring out who it was.
Wow!
Somebody local that was just doing it to just create chaos, and they got a laugh out of it themselves. But everybody else just they couldn't stand that person.
So do y'all still deal with this person?
Did y'all banish this person, or what did y'all do to him?
Oh, absolutely.
Is he still
no longer
industry?
welcomed? I'm sure they are, but they kind of outed themselves. They started drinking a lot, and a lot of bad things happened to this person where they had to completely change their business name and everything. So they're not doing too great.
Yeah, we've seen that too.
Yeah, they're not doing too great.
Wow, that's interesting.
Wow.
Okay, there you go, Jeff. So we're gonna.
So how did you and your team come up with the concept for Harvest to Sound Boston? How did y'all come up with that?
So full disclosure, we didn't. Well, we kind of did. So probably 20 years ago or so, back when the ADJA was bigger than it is now, there was local chapters in pretty much every big city in the country, and there was one, ADJA, Massachusetts, and we had held a meeting at my uncle's office one day, and part of the meeting was just people bringing, a couple of their speakers so that we could hear different. This was when powered speakers were first coming out, so we could hear different speakers. We had a set of JBLs, a set of Yorkvilles. I don't remember the other ones that we had. This was way back when. Altos, because this wasn't when Alto first hit the scene. So we had the Altos over there. But it was a really, really small space. It was probably like a 15 by 15, office space. So we all just sat there for a little while listening to the different, speakers and the different subwoofers and stuff. And that was pretty much it. And then after the pandemic happened, we had a local meetup at my office where we had like Team Ragosa come out. We had Elliot Ness come out. We had a bunch of the table manners guys come out, and it was just, a big DJ meetup where we all just got together, hung out, played music and stuff like that. And then after that, my partner, Chris Carr, he had said to me, he goes, remember when we did the speaker listening at the office? I was like, yeah, of course. He's like, it would be cool if we could do that again. And this was back in 2021. I was like, we can. Why not? We'll do it. So we had discussed this in like September, and then we had decided that we were going to do it in it was either the last week of November, first week of December is when we did it. And it coincided with Shani Barnett's birthday. So we kind of coincided at the Harvest of Sound, where we were just going to listen to speakers, where we had, Ben Stowe come out. We'll get to that in a second, though. That was a whole story in itself.
Yes.
But we thought it was going to be, the small thing with a bunch of local guys. We figured there'd be like, 40 or 50 local guys come out. We ended up having like 180 or 190 different people come out from 24 different states. And this was something that we planned. This was something that we planned inside of like 90 days.
Wow.
And it was such a unique concept, where instead of, all this other stuff happening or listening to speakers in a small listening room, like we hear, at like DJ Expo and stuff like that, now you're in a big ballroom where you can actually let the speakers breathe and you can hear what they actually sound like. So it was a completely unique experience as far as listening and hearing all these different speakers. Because I think the first year we had something like 30 or 40 different tops, and then we had like a dozen or so different subwoofers. you know, and then Bose came out. Bose was the only manufacturer that was there that year, you know, so we had the entire Bose, you know, L Pro lineup out there. But it was one of those things where it just kind of developed from there. So then 2022 was coming around, and we're like, all right, let's do this a little bit bigger than we did it last year, since it worked out so well with just some grassroots campaigning, you know. And that's when we came up with the idea to let's do 3 days, let's do it in, you know, side of an expo center. Let's, you know, have, you know, Ben Stowe come out again, have a bigger space to listen to the speakers, and then we'll have a stage where we can do like seminars and stuff. And that's when the first full year of Harvest of Sound, which was last year, that's where that came from.
Okay, cool.
So,
Okay, so what's the other part, the back part that you was gonna tell us about with Shanny?
Yeah. So Ben Stowe, that's what I was gonna say. So we had been reaching out to Ben Stowe those, you know, first couple of months, trying to figure out how we would do this, you know, hook up all the different speakers and stuff like that. And Ben had offered to send some equipment, you know, pre-programmed some, you know, a DSP and a speaker management system for us to use. And then, like 2 weeks before the show, he sends me a message, you know, with a receipt for a plane ticket. He goes, "I'll see you in a couple of weeks." So it was completely unbeknownst to us that Ben Stowe was even going to come out the first year. And then Ben Stowe ended up coming out, and then we ended up having the show there the first year with Ben Stowe, which was pretty cool.
So is Ben coming this year?
Ben's there every year. Ben is the shootout.
This is his.
He is stuck with us now.
wow. So, and if this is not prying, you said that Bose were the first, you know, the only company that y'all had the first year. Yep. So what was your approach to get them to even come to that type of event?
So this was when the L Pro first started coming out, the 16, the 32 and stuff, the 8, 16, and 32. And obviously not a lot of DJs had those. So I had known Marco, you know, from before with like DJ Expo and stuff like that. And I know that Bose is located in Massachusetts. So I was trying to arrange with him to see if there was a way that we could grab like one of each speaker and just bring them out. Marco was like, "I'll do you one better." He's like, "I'll come out with you." At the time, Shanny was working with Bose. So it worked out really, really well because, like I said, the second half of this was we were doing the speaker shootout, and then the second half of the night was going to be Shanny's birthday party. So because Shanny was working with Bose, Shanny got us hooked up with Marco. Marco said, "Okay, yeah, sure, we'll all come out." So Marco came out, Shanny came out. They brought the speakers. They ended up just driving a half hour up the road and grabbing them from Bose headquarters. But, you know, they came in, they explained all about the speakers and stuff like that. But it worked out really, really well, especially having somebody that was kind of in with them at the time. So
you know what I appreciate? What I appreciate what you just did, or one of the things that you just did, you just showed the importance of one of the most important parts of networking. And that's building relationships. It's those relationships that allow you to walk through doors that you wouldn't normally be able to walk through.
Yep.
So due to the fact of the relationship, that happened.
I can 100% tell you that without networking, you know, between myself, Lou Paris, and Chris Carr, and knowing the people and kind of meeting the people and being friends with the people that we know now, Harvest of Sound would never have happened. Not to the extent that it's happening now anyways.
Wow. So how many shows? So you've been to other shows, of course, and that's where you make all your connections and local. So everybody that you met or everybody's been receptive, or have a lot of people, companies like RCF, QSC, any of those guys been receptive to come out?
So that's kind of a catch-22. And
okay.
This is the reason why, kind of where the misrepresentation of Harvest of Sound is. So a lot of these companies don't want to come out and support the show or have their speakers as part of the show because they don't want somebody else doing an independent testing of their product, which we're really not doing. You know, we're not saying this speaker is better than that speaker or this speaker scores better than that speaker. All we're doing is we're leveling the playing field across the board. We're giving every speaker the same signal. We're measuring them the same exact way, and we're just feeding the results. That's all we're doing. So I'm not going to name any names, but there's been companies that flat out told us that they don't want their speaker tested next to another speaker. So we can't get them on board personally, but we still have their speakers to test. So their speakers are getting tested regardless.
So do you have a store like Guitar Center? I don't know what y'all have in Boston that will help y'all with getting stuff so y'all don't have to go out and buy all these speakers?
I wish. This is kind of where
or does everybody have a DAS, a QS?
No. So this is where the networking part and kind of the grassroots approach comes in, because literally there's a dozen or so DJs that supply all of the speakers for the shootout, besides some of the more pertinent ones like EV and Bose and stuff like that.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So
everything.
have you, not to name names, but have you got somebody to fully commit and not really care about what's going on and say, hey, we know ours is good and we're here and we're gonna. Yep. Besides Bose, I know Bose is in because they're a Massachusetts product.
Yes, we've had a couple. So we have EV, who's actually one of the major sponsors of this year's show, which is great. We're super excited to have them come out. So EV as well as LD. So LD has used our local rep company of ours, Central Mass Productions, who's a authorized LD dealer, supply the LD speakers that we test last year and this year.
Okay.
So those three companies right there have all said, cards on the table, here you go.
Okay. All right. I like that. So I'm gonna jump to
Jeff keeps
we keep losing him.
He's in the matrix. All right, Jeff.
Yeah,
you're in the matrix.
I get.
There we go.
Okay,
You're not
I'm
moving.
back. I'm up now. I guess my thing keeps up. Am I moving?
He's
now?
moving. He's moving. He's good.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
who are some of the other members on? You already talked about some of them, but who are some of the other members on the team?
Yeah, our core, three is me, Chris Carr, and Lou Paris. We're the ones from day one, 2021 that kind of put this all together. Lou stepped up in a huge way when we did the first show. He supplied a ton of gear for us the first year when we were at the, I don't remember the name of it. It was like American Legions or ITAM or something like that. But last year he and Ben Stowe, designed in through the new version of the speaker shootout. And then Lou also did a couple different seminars last year. So he's doing the same thing this year. He's doing the speaker shootout with Ben. We have an entirely new designed speaker shootout for this year, kind of taking the feedback from last year's show. And then Chris Carr is kind of our on the ground boots out the door kind of guy. He's the one that's helping us set all this stuff up. Me and him have arranged the hotel. We've negotiated all the contracts for the hotels. We've been talking to all the vendors, along with Lou. And then we have part of our production team, which outside of Ben Stowe, obviously Ben Stowe is a huge part too. We have Ben's kind of right-hand person, Kat, helping us out a lot. And then we have my right-hand dude, Jay Dow, helping us out, so that's kind of our core. But then we have a ton of volunteers, that help do things from setting up staging to setting up lighting. Like David Mears, he's handling all the audio for us. He handled it last year. He's handling it again for us this year. So all the seminars that are on the main stage, all the parties and stuff are all mixed by Dave. He did a great job last year, so he's going to come back this year and do it for us again. But then we have a ton of, companies that have hooked us up, huge as far as, staging and stuff goes, so it goes deep and it goes far, so we have a lot of people that are really stepping up, plus all of our presenters. All of our presenters, they're the reason why we're here. Without them, we would not have a show. We'd literally just have a bunch of speakers inside of a room playing music.
So, well, you skip to the next question, so I'm going to pop it up there anyway. But I'm going to ask you, who are you?
He's in the Matrix again.
Yeah. So who are you expecting? Who are some of the presenters and exhibitors going to be at the show this year?
Yeah, so we might as well just hit the presenters first. Our keynote this year is Tori V, who is absolutely phenomenal. She did a seminar at DJX, last year that kind of touched a lot of people. So, we're happy to have her. I'm sorry, this year she did it at DJX. So we're happy to have her as our keynote. She's also doing a seminar with Chris Washburn. Chris Washburn's also our on-stage MC this year. So he's going to be handling all the announcing, and kind of bringing people up. We have Cleveland Terry coming back this year again. Cleveland Terry was our keynote last year. This year he's going to be doing a seminar on kind of tech and working with tech. We have a first-year presenter for us, which is Mike Walter, who's doing his 35 years in the business that he did at DJ Expo with a little bit of a twist. Let's see, Rachel Lynch. Wow. She's been part of the show all 3 years. She's actually going to be on stage this year. Yeah, first-year presenter for us, which is Mike Walter, who's doing his 35 years in the business that he did.
Doing that? Is that you, Jeff?
Just over here breaking stuff.
I guess, man. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go
That's
go
fine.
ahead.
It's fine. But we have Matt Radicilli coming, Tony Fernandez. We have a local wedding coordinator in my area. Her name's Blair Mitchum. She's coming, and she's going to be doing an amazing seminar that is titled Working Through Your Ego, which I think a lot of people can benefit from. Lou Paris again, he'll be up on stage again this year. Thomas Heath is going to come back. He was unfortunately unable to make it last year because of a family emergency, but he's going to be there with us this year. We have Nick Duvet, we have Troy Adams, Richard Post, we have Rob Peters. Rob Peters hasn't presented in several years, but he's been on stage at DJ Expo and stuff like that before. He's going to do great. We have Mike Napoli coming back again this year to do kind of a rebrief and a refresh on his mixing class last year. And then another first-year presenter for us, Josh Staley, who's going to be doing an amazing, seminar for us too. So, I mean, that's some of the presenters, exhibitors. Let's see, we have Electro Voice, Danny Max, curator, DJ event planner. We have Vibo coming out, Q, NLFX. There's a bunch. I'd have to look at the list. I don't have it in front of me. I think as of right now, I think we have something like close to 20 exhibitors coming up.
Man, I'm trying to Hercules down for you, brother. I've been trying to call.
I'm all for it, man.
I've been hunting them down because
That's another one. Sorry, I didn't mention, but big one for us is Pioneer. Pioneer will be there this year as well. So all the new stuff out from Pioneer will be there this year, and Pioneer is actually being so gracious as to give us a set of the new Cross 12s and an S11 for the onstage DJ, which is this year is Matt Dodge. So he'll be using those all 3 days on stage, and then they'll have all that stuff set up, obviously, in the exhibitor room too for everybody to play with.
So, who are we going to get to interview? Are we going to line them up? We're going to set it up, or we just going to set time slots?
Completely up to you. So this year we're doing the same thing we did last year, but to a bigger extent. So last year we had kind of one room that was designated as the podcast room. DJ NTV and John Cowley from them had set up, and he just did rolling interviews where he'd go grab somebody off the floor, bring them in, and do an interview. This year we actually have 4 separate podcast rooms, so we have the ability for 4 people to simultaneously do 4 different podcasts.
Okay, so we're gonna have to be good. We're gonna have to have a person. Somebody gonna have to have some charm to go grab some folk for us. So
you're gonna be there. I mean, just bring that Southern charm, and you'll be all set.
Hey,
yeah, because
we want to talk to everybody.
Yeah, we want to talk
anybody
to
you want to. Anybody you want to. So
okay, all right. Yeah, we definitely want to talk to the keynote. We got to talk to the keynote at other conferences. I mean, but we're gonna pull some folks. There's definitely some people I'd like to talk to if I see him walking around. Chris Washburn, tell him he definitely has to come talk to us. I want to talk.
He will be there all 3 days. He'll be there. Actually, him and Tori are coming.
I'm gonna try to put on some Chris Washburn clothes. I'm gonna wear some about 17 colors.
I don't know.
Myself to black.
That's some bright colors, man.
But Chris does it with man. He's like what's his name, John Daly, with that loud mouth.
John Daly with the pants and the shirts, and I'm just waiting for him to walk in for a seminar, smoking a cigar and drinking a tequila.
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
Yeah,
Jeff,
he probably will. He might come on stage like that. Yeah.
Can we get you to come out of the Matrix?
Well,
man,
we did do that last year. So Mike Villa's seminar last year was at like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. and we went up and we all did tequila shots at like 10 a.m.
Wow.
Like Mike Villa's catchphrase is it's Patron time. So we happen to have a bottle of Patron for him waiting that Jay Dowd so graciously contributed.
Yeah, well, we want to catch him after he had about 3.
Yeah,
and get the real.
you might have to go down the street to the Encore and catch him at the poker tables.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So when you do the sound, do you guys create? Do you do it like a car show? You know how? Have you ever been to a car show when they're checking the audio?
Yeah, so last year we did, and last year it was just a rolling 4. So we would set up 4 speakers, listen to A, B, C, and D, and then roll in another 4. This year we're actually doing a blind hearing test. So you have no idea what you're listening to until we drop the curtain and you see what's behind it. So this way here you get an unbiased,
nice.
listen to the speaker, so you don't have that brand bias, based on what you're hearing. So this way here, nobody besides Ben and Lou is going to know what's playing at any given point in time. I won't even have those answers. There you go.
I like that. I see the dancing in the background. I don't know what type.
I don't know what they're doing over here, man.
Yeah. But that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so that's new to this year. So we're gonna
Pepsi, Coke.
Yeah, exactly.
Coke.
Exactly. You don't. It's like putting them in a box with a straw sticking out of it, and you have no idea what it is. We're gonna have the preliminary testing done before everybody gets there. So the speaker shootout is going to be Monday afternoon, but Sunday night and Monday morning we're going to spend running the speakers through their paces with all the stuff that people don't want to listen to, like pink noise and max volume and stuff like that. So that's all going to be done before everybody gets there. Again, all testing is going to be the same throughout, and we're going to have those results actually available during the speaker shootout itself, so that you can see what the results of the speaker shootout not the shootout, but the speaker testing itself was. So you'll have all the information the entire time.
So let me ask you.
I'm not in the matrix. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead. We're gonna let you say something before you go back in.
Hey, quick question. So, since we're getting there Sunday, will we be able to live stream from there, or is it possible for us to live stream from the room a little bit? Let's go on the shootout.
We'll get you in there.
Maybe not the whole time, but maybe like, hey, this is what it looked like. So next year you need to come so you can see.
Yeah, we make that room available for everybody that's there Sunday night and Monday morning. So if you want to come in and see how we test the speakers, you're good, Jeff. If you want to come in and see how we test the speakers and listen to it and stuff like that, then yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm out on a trip on a sabbatical, and this is the worst spotty Wi-Fi I've ever seen.
You got to tell everybody who you're with.
Oh, man, I don't even know who all I'm with. I'd have to look at the list. Let me look at the list, and I'll tell you who it is. But Howard from Chicago.
Of course,
Logan
Howard's
from,
there. I was just gonna say Howard was the one in the background.
Yeah, that was Howard. Doing Howard.
we gotta try and get him out this year. Make him make the flight.
I'm gonna try to get it, man. I'm gonna talk to him. I had mentioned it to him earlier, but you know how Howard is. Let me find our group. I'm gonna run through all the names for y'all real quick.
He's on a nice little DJ retreat.
Yeah.
So it's Howard, Logan, Anthony.
Wait. You have Logan and Anthony there at the same time?
Yep. Anthony.
Oh boy, that sounds like DJ Expo all over again.
Curtis Whipple, Brighton Cannon. Who else we got here? Joe Fortuna and Bryce Belseth. So that's the whole crew, man. So it's like
Logan and Anthony. I went to DJ Expo last year and I showed up. I showed up on like Tuesday or Wednesday. I was a day late. We got in at like 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, 5:30 in the morning. Logan and Anthony were with Mike Villa at the roulette table, and I walk in and they all have beers waiting for us at 5:30 in the morning.
Hey,
it don't stop.
I know. We tried to get Logan out last year, but that was right around when he was getting married, I think. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah, man. So it's we just here to kick back, enjoy, take a little sabbatical, discuss the industry, and just Howard invited me out, so I rolled out with the fellas. So it's just
awesome.
Just here to have a good time. I think we all get ready to go to dinner shortly.
There you
so
go.
Yeah, so it's. But anybody got any questions? Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
So for those that are listening now and listening later, and if they have any interest in Harvest the Sound, could you tell them some of the things that to expect or get? What's going on, Jeff?
I think he's talking to the crew.
Come here, sir. Come here.
Yeah.
Come on over here.
We'll get there, Mike. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's trying to ask me when I'm done because he's ready. We're ready to go to get ready to go to
Howard's
dinner.
hungry.
Welcome to Sedona, Arizona. Welcome to our evil lair.
Oh man!
Enjoy, everybody. Enjoy.
Sharks with laser beams. Sharks with laser beams.
Wow.
Yeah. So we got about 12 minutes. So if y'all want to roll on, and Logan can take me.
We're gonna wait.
Okay. All right. They're gonna wait on me. I guess I'm slightly.
Thanks, Howard. You're the best.
He said, "Thanks, Howard. You're the best." Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
So go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just for those that are listening now and who will listen later, and if they're interested in Harvest of Sound, what should they expect and why should they be there?
This is a show that is really unlike any other show. I mean, there's nowhere else in the world where you get the speaker shit out to the extent that we do it. You know, there's nowhere else that you're going to get 70 or 80 speakers put together in the same room. That's a full-size room. You know, it's a full-size ballroom. And you get to listen to A, B, C, and D next to each other. You know, there's just no other place that you're going to get that. You know, we have some of, I think, the top presenters in the world, both last year and this year coming. You know, last year's show was phenomenal. This year's show is suiting up to be just as good, if not better, than last year's show. But I mean, just the amazing part about meeting your industry peers and getting to know different people, meeting new people, networking with them, seeing what works for them, what doesn't work for them, seeing the presenters and, you know, kind of grabbing that knowledge, because there's, you know, only so much you can get watching YouTube videos. You know, all of us obviously have seen the YouTube videos. There's some great information. There's some not so great information, you know, so it's kind of, it's nice to get out there and, you know, being somebody that's gone to, you know, Mobile Beat Midwest and DJ Expo and stuff like that, getting out there and kind of seeing the people behind the screen, you know, it's unique, you know, so you only get those experiences when you get out to one of these shows. You know, we're one of the smaller shows, but that's by design. You know, we don't ever want to be the size of DJ Expo. We want to be that small, intimate, you know, 250, 300 person show, so that you're always, you know, around somebody. You're not having to walk, you know, a quarter of a mile or a half a mile to another, you know, seminar, or walk around, you know, the boardwalk trying to find somebody. Everybody's in the same spot.
Yeah. That can be a problem.
Yeah.
Yep. What about nightlife? Are we got any parties planned or anything?
Do we have Monday night? We got a whole bunch going on Monday night, which is the first night of the show. Stephanie Rifkin, aka DJ Stardust, she's going to be hosting karaoke at the hotel restaurant Monday night. We also have Silent Sound Systems coming in Monday. They're going to host a silent disco in the foyer. Tuesday night is our big show. That's when we have, you know, all of different DJs and stuff lined up to be, you know, presented shortly. Not today, but we'll get there at some point. We have some big names coming in that are spinning during the party. You know, obviously Cleveland Terry is going to be there again. We have Matt Dodge. I'm sure Chris Washburn's going to hop up there. Plethora of other people. Will announce some of the bigger names as we get closer. But that's the party on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday is kind of a half a day. We're done at 6:30. And then typically what ends up happening is because we end so early, everybody decides that they want to go to dinner at the same place. You know, we find a nice big restaurant for everybody to go. We typically, last year we rented out the entire downstairs of a Chinese food restaurant, and there was like 80 of us that went there last year. So.
Oh, I was going to say 250 people embarking on one restaurant.
Yeah, it really depends where we go. You got to remember, we're only a few minutes away from Boston, so I mean, there's a lot of different places we can go to. So we can definitely make 250 fit in one spot if we need to.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Plus, you get 3 days of education. I mean, there's.
I
think last time we counted, there's something like 21 or 22 different seminars over the 3 days.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, man. I told Mike, I said, we going, and then Tyler, you kind of pushed it over the top with something you sent us, and he was like, man, you guys got to go, you got to come.
Listen,
I told him, Tyler invited us before the other individual invited us to go do interviews at his show. I didn't tell Mike about it, but I mean, I told him, but then somebody else, hey, why don't you guys come on up here and do mine too? So, you know, but
you supported us last year. I mean, you know, we did the show last year, obviously, and you know, obviously last year we couldn't make happen, but you know, this year I wanted to make sure that we could do everything that we could do to make sure that, you know, you came out, especially giving us as much support as you've given us. We want to take that one step further. So I actually have a free pass I want to give you to give to or give away to anybody you want to. So if you want to give it to one of your,
y'all hear that? We got a
if you want to give it to one of your listeners, if you want to do a raffle, if you want to give it to somebody in the room you're with right now, totally up to you.
No, I'm gonna wait and we'll do it in DJ Crosstalk and see if there's anybody interested in the DJ group. I think you remember DJ Crosstalk, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll come up with something. We'll come up with a contest. But if you're not going, don't take the pass. So we
Let's
don't
leave
want
it for somebody that wants to
Uh,
go, maybe can't get there because of the cost of the tickets or something like that. But definitely,
No.
we definitely want to get that to you.
It definitely will be somebody that's going to go.
Yeah.
We need somebody to be worthy because
100%.
that's a special thing. I think that's a wonderful thing. Anytime that you can.
Well, thank you, Tyler. You threw one on me. You threw one out. But
Listen,
thank you.
You surprised me with all of these questions. I told you I did not want to know any of the questions before we got on here. So you threw me that surprise. So I got to have a surprise for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people for you because we got DJ Kung Fu DJ to hook up with
I'm
you.
so looking forward to him coming.
Oh, he's a great guy.
Listen, I did talk to him, so I'm going to let the cat out of the bag on that. It's like 99% that he's coming, and if he does come, you guys can look forward to seeing him not only on the EV event stage during the vendor trade show, but I'm sure he will also be during the Tuesday night, what we call our rewind party. So.
Yeah,
you have to see him. He's an extremely talented brother. I mean, and it's not just a character. That's really his.
That is him. That is him.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing him as long as I've known him, and just seeing like the person behind the facade. I mean, that is him all over. I mean, so last year we were at DJ Expo, and I was working the Joe Bunn and Crate Hackers booth last year, and my boy Jay Dowd was there with me, and Kung Fu was across from us at the Bass Boss booth. And I'm sure everybody's heard Bass Boss speakers at DJ Expo. They're loud. They go as loud as they could possibly go. So we're across, with these little Evolve 50s trying to figure out what we can do to create some hype. So my boy Jay Dowd starts laying acapellas over DJ Kung Fu's set. So we probably had half of that showroom in between our two booths that night. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing. All right.
We had somebody ask you a question. When are they coming to the DFW?
Man, James, I wish it could be a road show, but there's so much time and stuff and material put into these shows. We wouldn't be able to take it on the road, so we're gonna stick to Boston.
Yeah, gotta go to
Tyler,
James. Gotta go to
tell them to leave Texas. It's not a country. Leave Texas.
Yeah.
Go somewhere and learn.
There's no fence around Texas. You can leave anytime you want.
I like that. That's a good answer. There's no fence around DFW. Yeah, man.
Let's go.
Yeah, get out. Come on.
I promise you, Boston is like a whole new experience from Texas. I've been to Texas before. Two completely different places.
We got a free ticket. We got a free ticket, James. Maybe you can win the ticket. All you gotta do is
be you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
man.
Well, we definitely thank you. Where can people find you guys at?
Yeah. So, Facebook and Instagram at Harvest of Sound Boston, and online at harvestofsound.com.
Y'all hear that? I'm looking forward to blowing my eardrums off.
It's gonna be fun, I promise.
Yes. It's nothing like hearing some speakers, man. That's a DJ's dream. A nice sound. Man.
Yeah, and it's not just
and then
it's every major speaker there is out right now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tyler.
And I love the hidden part of it.
Yeah.
No,
that was Ben's idea. No, you're good, Jeff. You're good. I hear you. That was Ben's idea to do the blind test.
And I really love the idea of the hidden test. So you can't say, hey, that was a QSC and it's better than this. You can blind test it and hear it 100%. And say, okay, man, that little old bitty RCA 8 is blowing them other speakers out the wall. That LD is something nice. So I can't wait for that.
I personally own a pair of the LDs that I'll have there during testing, and there's going to be a lot of surprising results. I think people are into here. It's not. We're not saying one's going to be better than the other, but I think there's a lot of eye-opening experiences that can happen when you don't know what you're listening to.
So what time are y'all starting? What time are y'all starting it?
So registration is from 8 to 10 a.m. on Monday the 11th. And
No, I'm talking about what time are y'all starting the thing on Sunday?
Oh, you can get there whenever you want. Sundays pre-registration and setup day, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday the show.
Well, I thought y'all were going to be doing a few speakers.
Oh, we'll be doing it all day. As they come in, we'll be testing them.
Okay, all right. Well,
the way that we do it is we have our testing area that we set up with the RTA mics, Ben's little computer of wizardry and everything else. As the speakers come in, we put it on the stand or put it in front of the speakers in a very, very specific spot so that the testing, relations are the same, the distance is the same, the angles are the same. And as they come in, we test them. This way here, everything's constantly being tested.
And I'm so glad you said that, because now I remember what I asked you. Have you found me a videographer or somebody to follow us around for a day yet?
We got you. We got you covered.
Man, I'm starting to like Tyler more and more. Not only is he dropping knowledge, he is handling stuff up there in Boston, man.
We got you covered. It won't be the same person. It won't be the same person all 3 days, but we will make sure that there is somebody always available to hold the camera for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Man, that's all
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah.
We're gonna make
gentlemen,
we there Sunday to do the weigh-in, because from listening to you with the speakers, it's like a fighter's weigh-in. You're doing the weigh-in.
It's like Tyson Holyfield. You don't know whose ear is going to get bit off.
Let's go. And then we'll bring Kung Fu in the middle to cause some disturbance.
There we go.
Yes. Well, man,
all right, man. Well, fellas, I'm gonna get ready to get on out of here.
Yeah. We're gonna get you out of here, man.
He needs to go give his internet a break.
Yeah, because that hey, that internet is horrible.
I'm sorry, Sedona, Arizona, baby. I mean, we out in the middle of a big old hole.
He's in the middle of the desert. I mean,
we're in the middle of the desert. Hey, only DJ. We was on Mars and the moon a couple months ago. Now we're out in the desert. So
Yeah. So
but,
I guess.
Hey, once again, Tyler, thank you. Mike, be thinking about how we can give away these tickets or give away that ticket.
I got you.
And we're gonna do that. And if any DJ is interested in going, hit me up. Give me a story. Tell me why you should go to Boston and get a free ticket to Boston. And if you have somebody that you can think of, or we'll make it wide. And if we have somebody, we'll just hook them up. Whoever it is, that's definitely you have to go. You can't tell me, oh, I want it, but I need to commit.
Hard commitment, because it's an expense. It's an expense.
Of course, it always is, and that's the great thing. Hey, get this education and have a lot of fun and create some new relationships that you wouldn't get to do, or create being at home in that box.
That's it.
Yeah.
Get outside that fence.
All right.
Get outside the fence.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, it was fun. Thank you, Tyler. We look forward to seeing you soon. I'll bring all of my long johns and coats and 18 pair of socks.
And I'll probably be in a t-shirt.
That's so crazy. Hey, Mike, remember we got to pack Tyler a shirt for 2 DJs and a mic too.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Since he's gonna be in a t-shirt with some shorts on.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna run. We finna go to dinner. I'm gonna go hang out with all these great DJs from around the world, around the US, and go try to get smarter, get better.
All right.
There you go.
All right, boys. I have a good one.
All right, later. All right.
Thank you.
Hit the theme music, Mike.
This is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
This is only a test.
DJs in MC.